Alright guys, so a little segment, and I'm doing it because I watched Kyle Brotherson's video about his top 10 favorite bikes, and I find that funny, like top 10? I mean, a lot of us will never own 10 motorcycles in our lives. I mean, it's really expensive to have a top 10. I mean, that means that you've owned a whole bunch more than 10 so that you can wheedle it down to 10. And I was just telling Zach, it's kind of like saying if someone was on their deathbed, what is your top 10 things you want to have for your last meal? I don't know. I find that a funny thing to do. I mean, also, when you look at his list, the bikes aren't all that much different, like, from each other. It's not like one's a Harley and the dirt bikes. And anyway, whatever. Kyle's an awesome dude. He's got a great channel, but I think it's funny. And then on top of that, I don't think he owns any bikes for very long. He gives them all away, which is super rad. Really, really cool of him to do. But he doesn't, like, I don't know. There's no proof that they were like his favorite bike, right? Because he didn't keep it. He didn't buy another one and put it in the corner and have it forever, and it's always his go-to. So I want to talk about my absolute #1 favorite motorcycle I have ever owned, and I can prove it in a lot of different ways. So let's start with kind of just a quick, going in my mind memory list of, and we're just going to go with dirt bikes, right? So I've owned a bunch of YZ250s, TC250, a few KTM 300s, a few XR650s, KDX 200, YZ 125, KTM 125, YZ 450, WR 250F, TTR 250, and then I have ridden a giant number of motorcycles. Obviously, working here, running this place, having to work on motorcycles, I ride them, and then my friends have different bikes. I've ridden all those, actually out in the wild, all that stuff. And my absolute, if anybody here has watched enough of my videos, you know what I'm going to say. And you've already seen what's sitting on my lip. My absolute #1 favorite dirt bike of all time is the venerable XR650R. And it's this specific XR650R. This is a 2002 XR650R that I have owned since 2004. Now, here is the proof that this is my favorite bike, and I actually really, truly believe that in my soul. First of all, I bought it in 2004. I raced the Baja 1000 on it in 06 solo. I pre-ran the 07 Baja 1000 on it. I have ridden this thing all over the state of Colorado, and then a terrible thing happened. I was almost broke in 2008 when the economy collapsed. I had this shop just started. Things went completely sideways in my life, and I had to sell everything. I sold all my motorcycles, including the XR650. So to generate cash, because I had no money. Anyway, so I had to do it. But I sold this one to my friend, Mike Lindau, with the express instruction that he does not sell it. Hey, look at that. That's awesome, by the way. Zach's been fighting that for a little while. It's good to hear it run. Sounds like it might be a fuel issue because he just sprayed brake cleaner in it. But so anyway, back to the XR. So I sold to him. I said, listen, dude, you can't sell this to anyone else. If you decide to sell it, you have to call me, and I'll find out how to buy it. I want to buy it back from you. I will buy it back from you at some point. So fast forward a few years, I got back on my feet, got things sorted out. I called him. I said, listen, you got to sell me the bike back. He resisted. I would not relent. I got the bike back. I bought it back, okay? And then I've ridden it all over, whatever. And then I hit hard times again when I opened up a shop in Grand Junction, and that shop failed miserably, and I had to sell a bunch of stuff to generate cash to keep that up. Anyway, whatever. Long story there. And I had learned, though, that I'm not a good person if I don't have at least one dirt bike to ride. So I sold everything except the XR650R. And I rode the thing as my only dirt bike for almost a full year, proving, like I said, that it is my absolute favorite. Now, you know, I think I'm to the point where that's not going to happen again, and I will never, ever, ever sell this motorcycle. I might let my kids ride it at times, I might let someone else ride it, but I'm never going to sell it. And let me tell you about why I think it is the best dirt bike. And it's not because it's the best at any one thing, although arguably you could say it's the best at winning the Baja 1000, because I don't think any other motorcycle has done that as many times as this. But this is the most capable dirt bike I've ever owned in every kind of terrain. I've ridden it on 5 miles of hell. I've ridden it on every trail in this valley, all the hard stuff, the easy stuff, the flowy stuff. All right, I'm gonna wait till that stops and I'm gonna join you again. Okay, compressor's off. Like I was saying, I've ridden it in all the trails around this valley, all the easy stuff, all the hard stuff. And yeah, it's 312 pounds like it is with almost no gas in it, so it's 330, 340 when it's completely full. It's a giant pig. It's a kickstart only. Obviously, I like e-starts. I'm willing to put one on my YZ. But the reality is that if someone told me, Morgan, you can only own one motorcycle for the rest of your life, it would absolutely 100% be this XR650. It is just awesome. You can ride it anywhere if you're willing. It will never break down. I mean, it's like, I don't know, this thing's got 4 billion miles on it. I just think it is the best dirt bike. And I know everybody's going to argue, well, the KTM 500 is better. Fair enough. KTM 500s are awesome and great. You know what? They got weird electronic parts and fuel injection that can break out in the middle of nowhere. Do they? No, probably not. But I also don't know anyone with as many miles on a 500 or a big bore 4-stroke KTM, one of the new fuel injection ones, as this thing that's never been apart. I mean, this thing, the top end's never been off. I've adjusted the valves. That's about it. Yeah, I'm gonna probably race it in the Baja 1000 this coming year. So, Kyle, great video, but I think it's a little bit ridiculous. Like, let's see what you actually would spend your good hard-earned money on and keep for a whole bunch of hours and years. And, you know, honestly, I look at this thing as an heirloom. I love it so much. So, anyway, that's my absolute #1 favorite motorcycle ever. And the reality is, I love all dirt bikes. They're all wonderful in lots of ways. But yeah, that's the best one. So, you know what I'm going to say. I hope you get out and spread the gospel of two wheels. And I desperately hope that what we're doing here at Hound Cycles is inspiring you guys to work on and get out and ride your dirt bikes! Yeah! That'll work! I'll fucking take it. Oh, it's close, but...